Hold on one second. Let's see here. So I welcome you. I am also simulcasting on Facebook, which is always an interesting experience. So that means anybody can listen to this on Facebook as well. So you can listen on Facebook, and I'm also putting it on a podcast on YouTube as well. Just type in Seidel and Gateway, and you'll see my podcast, Robert Seidel and the word Gateway. So I just want you to know it's a very pleasure to be here with you tonight. Let's see, I got to do one thing. And I hope you all are having a nice Father's Day. Those of you that it's your Father's Day, that you are celebrating that at all. And let's see here. I hope that you're all enjoying yourselves. Let's see here. One second. I'm sending somebody wants to call in, so I'm sending them some information on it. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see here. What am I doing here? Okay. So I want to invite you all to tune in with me tonight. Tonight I want to focus on spiritual healing, just the importance of learning how to get our minds and spirits back into harmony with love and happiness and goodness. And so it's going to be a fun time to just kind of connect together. And I hope you'll join with me. Funny, I'm just trying to be a little bit innovative here because my friend was saying he wanted to. Hey, Linda, how you doing? Hey, James, it's good to see you. Let's see. It's always a pleasure to be here. It's always an experiment in growth and possibilities. And I hope on this beautiful weekend, I was out of town and I just flew back today, this afternoon. And so I'm always thinking about a message to share. And I thought, hey, what about how can you and I focus on spiritual healing? What can you and I do to focus our minds on being healthier, happier, more vibrant? And that can include every part of our lives. That can include your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health. That can include your bank account, that you have enough money to do what you need to do. Hold on one second here. Let's see. Maybe I'll leave that on there. Well, let me put on a little bit of music here. Let's see. I put it a little bit on right now. So wherever you are right now, I just invite you. Hello, Elle. It's a pleasure to have you tuned in also. Each of you that connects always makes a difference to me. It's always an opportunity for us to grow emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And that's really, what else can we really do on this earth? If we're not growing spiritually, then I think we're not moving ahead. So on this Father's Day, let's just open our heart to a new beginning for each of us. I was out of town this weekend and I heard somebody say something that said sometimes you have to get away to remember who you are and to be at your authentic self. And I started thinking, hey, Debbie, thank you so much, wishing me a happy Father's Day. I was with my family, so yes, it was very nice. Matter of fact, one of my kids is out of town. Believe it or not, one of my kids is in Brazil. Can you believe that? And he actually called me on FaceTime from Brazil. It's kind of hard to believe that the technology of this era, that I can be sitting there talking to him, seeing him in complete detail, and he's, according to my phone, 6,000 miles away. Kind of hard to believe, isn't it? It's a magical world we live in, and the opportunity for all of us is to find greater joy, greater peace, greater love in our hearts, and to become filled with that love and joy. And that's really what I want tonight to be about. Let's just be filled up with love. How does that sound? I invite you to join with me in just uniting with love and peace and grace tonight. Love, peace, and grace tonight. And so, let's see something here. Hold on one second here. So wherever you are, whatever's happening with you, I invite you to just relax. And before we go on any further, let's just do about a 5-minute relaxation exercise. Whatever's happening in your life on this Father's Day, June 18th, 2023, I invite you just to release it right now. Release it to the infinite power of grace and love in this world. Whatever you've been carrying in your mind and heart and soul, if there's any negativity, if there's a burden of any kind, I invite you to let it go right now. So take a deep breath in and just exhale and just let yourself feel yourself relaxing Now, if you happen to be driving in the car, obviously got to keep your eyes on the road and pay attention. But you know, whatever's happening with you in your life and in your world, I invite you just to let it go right now. Hey, Jonelle, nice to see you. You know, it's interesting. There's a lot of you like Jonelle that I have very seldom seen. Some of you I've never actually met. And, but I see you every week on here. So we have a relationship. And this is a unique relationship born of this era. You know that even 15, 20 years ago, or even 15 years ago, this wouldn't have been possible. But it would be very difficult to put together a collective experience like this. Hey, very sweet, Jonelle. She would. Happy Father's Day. Nice big. Janelle, you're very sweet. Each of you are very sweet. Each of you make a bigger difference in my life than you understand, actually. And the opportunity, I'm convinced, in this earth is for us to open our hearts to love in a way that we never thought was possible. And when you and I become flooded with love, guess what? Then we'll be very, very happy. And guess what? That's number one step in healing. Healing in mind, spirit, and body. That is the number one step for each of us. If you and I want to really know vibrant health, and guess what? That, my friends, is the answer for each of us. If you and I want to really start to thrive, we've got to bring love into our heart, mind, and soul. You have to come into agreement and unity with the frequency of joy, love, and peace. If you do that, guess what? You're going to start to be so much happier. You're going to start to be so much more joyous. So just whatever's happening on you, let's give up that story. We have stories, so many stories in our heads. And those stories can make us sick. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You can have a story that's making you sick. Your story could be that you're not okay, that your past isn't right, or your dreams of your future aren't right, or your present is not right. And that's a story. And that story can begin to make us sick in mind, spirit, and body. So tonight, my intention is, before this show's over tonight, starting right now, you're going to feel health, happiness, vitality, exhilaration greater than you've ever known. Just dare to know that. It can't happen by itself. Hey, Dinah, nice to see you on there. Dinah just got back from Maine. Yeah, it's interesting. People, all of you have adventures. Each one of you have adventures. And remember the theme I always want to keep coming back to. In some ways, this life is a grand, grand adventure. And you've been given all the pieces of the puzzle of this adventure. You get to love. You get to know grace. You get to know healing. You get to know miraculous energy. Each and every one of you. You get to dream. You get to choose what you put in your body, what you eat. You get to choose what you put in your mind by what you read and speak. And you get to choose the people you associate with. So you've been given a recipe. You've been given a cookbook that will let you create a recipe of joy and happiness and fulfillment in your life. And each of us, my friends, each of us occasionally has setbacks and frustrations. That's absolutely normal. But you know what? It's also normal to bounce back. One of my favorite sayings came from Muhammad Ali. He says, there ain't nothing wrong with getting knocked down. He says, it's only staying down that's the problem. So wherever you are, whatever's happened in your life, maybe you're at the top of your game right now, better than you've ever known it. That's fabulous. If that's true, that's what I want it just to stay that way for you. Let's say that there's something you feel is not right that needs to be altered and changed. It's not too late. That's the message. In fact, that message came to me this weekend too. It's not too late. Whatever you're dreaming of, whatever you're dreaming of, it's not too late. It's not too late for you to be awakened to infinite love. It's not too late for you to discover a new beginning in your life. It's not too late for you to have wonderful new friends. It's not too late for you to reach for your dreams. It's not too late. You still have a body, it still works. It's not too late. You can still walk. It's not too late. You can still speak and think and see. It's not too late. So join with me tonight, right now, and open yourself to the idea that right this second, you are one with infinite grace. The first step in healing I wanted to go over tonight. That's very nice of you. James says, very true. I cannot wait to see you again. Well, James, I'd love to see you too. So each of you, I try every week, I'm trying to share what I believe God's sharing with me. And I am a growing soul too. Don't ever get the idea I'm not. I am always reaching for new possibilities every day. I truly believe right now, the best days are in front of us. I was thinking to myself as I was driving home today, like I said, I flew from out of town. I was thinking, you know what? Hello, Glenn. I like that. I like Glenn saying, Happy Father's Day. You are truly a pleasure to listen to. Thank you. Glenn Gaffin. It says, don't count the days. Make every day count. That's Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, he's truly an inspiration to me in many, many different ways. There's a great documentary about him where he goes to Africa and fights George Foreman and wins. I think it's called When We Were Kings. I'll give you the exact name in a little bit. But I love that show because he didn't give up. And everybody thought he was going to lose. I mean, do sometimes people around you think you're going to lose? Do you think you're going to lose? Well, that's when you have to bounce back. You don't count the days, make every day count. And remember, there's nothing wrong with getting knocked down. It's just staying down. Every person, we're going to go to a break right now. And for those of you on Facebook, stay with me, okay? But for those of you on the radio, stay with me. We'll be back in just a moment after some important information being shared with you. This is Robert Seidel, The Gateway Show, 6 to 7 live every Sunday evening. Stay tuned. I'll be back in just a moment. So, my friends, I just want you to know that at every moment, in every way, miraculous possibilities exist. Let me just turn a noise. Mark, are you there? Okay, I want you to just hold on. When we come back from the break, we'll talk. But this is perfect. I love it. So I thought I heard some noise. So just hold on, and I'll be back with you in a second. So, my friends, wherever you are, I want you to just open your mind to the idea that no matter if it doesn't seem that way or not, amazing possibilities can come into your life starting right now. So I was thinking to myself on the way home today that the best days and my most important work is now and in the future. Hey, Lori. Lori Lucky. I like that. Lori Lucky. Nice to see you on there, Lori. Each of you makes a difference. It's funny, and some of you might relate to this, some of you might not. When every one of you tunes in, I feel a kind of a building up of love and grace. It just changes my experience. So each of you are actually healing me, and my intention, by the way, is to take all that love and grace and pour it back out on you, each and every one of you. So let's dare to dream, my friends. Let's dare to dream that your consciousness can accomplish through your relationship to the infinite power of grace and goodness more than you ever dreamed of. And it's just waiting for you right now. Whatever you seek and dream and believe, whatever you can conceive of and achieve, you can achieve. This is I think it was Napoleon Hill said that what a man can conceive and believe, he can achieve. What do you think about that, my friends? Are you open to that idea? Let's open ourselves to new possibilities, new adventures, new beginnings, hope, inspiration, health, healing, prosperity. How about that for each one of you? Hope, healing, health, prosperity, happiness. What I'm going to share when I come back is the power of identifying. What are you identifying with? Who do you identify with? Do you identify with health, happiness, and healing? Or are you identifying with something less than that? Tonight, I invite you to identify with greatness, goodness, healing, and joy. Tonight, I invite you to become the infinite power of love, the infinite power of grace. Here we go, Rebecca on the radio. All right, coming back on right now. Good evening, it's Robert Seidel. Great pleasure to be with you here on this Sunday evening, Father's Day 2023. And you know what? I just want each of you that are listening, you're making a difference to me. I I'm committed to the idea that you know what? That just we collectively can transform the quality of life on this earth. As a matter of fact, I know that's possible. And that's, you might think, well, because why? Because there's an old saying, where one or more is gathered, there is the power of God also. So we have the power through grace and joy to transform the quality of life for each other, for the world, and everything around us. So actually, I have a friend of mine on the radio right now. Mark, are you there? All right. So my good friend Mark, who I've known since elementary school, um, called and yeah, we weren't in Boy Scouts together, but some of my other friends I was in Boy Scouts with, but Mark I wasn't. But we've known each other literally. In fact, he lived just a few blocks from where I grew up, and so we've been friends for a long time. We don't really want to think about how long it is, do we, Mark? So we've actually been friends for over 65 years, or close to it anyway. I know we don't want to think about that, do we? Um, so Mark, Mark said he wanted to share something. I don't even know what he wants to share, so I'm excited to hear what he wants to share. What do you want to share with us tonight, Mark? Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Hold on. I think I know. Let me see something here. They're telling me they're not hearing you on Facebook. Let me try something here. I think I know what the problem is.
Hmm.
Okay. So, keep talking, and Dinah, keep starting to talk, Mark, and they can tell me if they're hearing you. So start talking,
Okay,
and
so this is a story about the father, me, and his relationship with his son. And when my son was a young man, and he met a girl from South Africa, and I talked to him about wasn't the facts of life story. It was a story about respect and being kind and being honest. And my dad never really had that talk with me, but I grew up in that house,
uh-huh.
and that's the way it was. So later on, as my son was working in a restaurant, he met a girl, and eventually, they were dating. Eventually, she spent the night at his apartment, and her parents were incredibly furious. She was the oldest girl in the family of all girls. She had three younger sisters. Her parents were incredibly upset. And that morning, my son, I guess it was around noontime, lunchtime. So he had to go to work. And being the responsible young man that he was and still is, he went to work. And he said, uh, I'm just going to say N, uh, N, call my father. He's a pretty good person to talk to. So
Uh-huh.
N called me, and we went and had lunch together, and we sat together. And I'd met her a few times. She told me about how upset her parents were, and things. And gosh, I don't remember what I said to her, Robert, but the most important thing to me on this Father's Day is that my son had that kind of respect for me to know be a, I would be good for his girlfriend. So, you know,
And so what
and
is
now they've been married for, well, and now they've been married for I don't know, 10 years, and they've got a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old and great kids. So,
That's actually,
so I guess,
oh, you know what, go, tell me, you guess your,
well, I guess the message is, yeah, there's grace that comes back to you. Just be honest, be a good person. And I've had some other tragedies too, but he's a real success, and I'm so happy they're married. Love them to death.
well, Mark, that's a beautiful story. So basically what you're saying is that he had enough faith in you when her parents were got upset that, and she was kind of probably disturbed too because of it all, that somehow, but your son reached out to you and asked you to talk to her.
Yeah, and I guess I felt really honored by that. So uh,
You know,
we still butt heads occasionally, but we don't act like butt heads, if you know what I mean. So
I have to remember that idea. You can butt heads without acting like a butthead. Actually, somebody just posted on Facebook a very touching story. You know what you said. You know, Mark, I think as parents, actually, um, my kids got me a little pin today. Where's I think I might even have it on. It says Happy Father's Day 2023, and I'm wearing it on my lapel. I don't think they can see it right now, but you know what? I think as parents, what we really hope is that we can make a difference in people's lives. And we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But so obviously, it's nice that your son feels that sense of trust and faith in you that he did, and that act of trust and faith changed the course of his life because if you showed up and acted like a jerk to her, probably they wouldn't be married today, would they?
funny you say that, but yeah, I guess his trust in me means that I guess I did an okay job as a dad.
Mark, well, I know you personally, so I can say this to you. I know you've done a great job as a dad. You know, uh, anyway, that's all I'm going to say to you. I know you've done your very best, and in the end, that's all any of us can really do. And there's a lot of luck in it, or a lot of grace in it, and we're just lucky in a lot of ways that our kids survive childhood. I mean, there's so many little things that can happen along the journey that if we're not careful, their lives could be cut short. And so the fact that our kids are still
Well,
around,
well, well, that too, but to have it be recognized in such a singular, significant moment to me that you know, I mean, this was 12 years ago probably, and it still is like it was yesterday to me. Uh, so
that's
I'm happy he recognized that, and it's just very, very touching.
um,
It makes the struggle of being a parent worth it. I wanted to say, uh, I fantasized a couple times about if there was an afterlife and you come back, oh, what would I come back as? And I'd said, a woman. Uh, Except I sure don't want to give birth to an 8-pound baby. So kudos to mothers. Kudos to all the mothers out there also on Father's Day. So,
well, it's funny you mentioned that. Um, my daughter-in-law, I might have told you this, or maybe I didn't. I don't remember. I don't know if I mentioned this to you or not. My daughter-in-law is expecting right now, and she was there with us this weekend, and it's quite. I've been through the journey of my own wife being pregnant, as you have, but it's quite a different experience watching her go through that story. And we were walking around together. She goes, he just kicked me, it's a little boy. And, as you confront the reality of creating a life, when you see it, and it's really, it's mind boggling. I don't think any of us really understand it. How is it possible two human beings can decide to create another human being in this world? And it's
but it's usually by accident. or maybe not. Sorry.
It sometimes can be by accident. I don't think this particular case was, but the bottom line though is that um, yeah. So the bottom line is there you have it. It's like it's this incredible miracle that we somehow and then that we get to co-create, be a part of, and then one day we're kind of surrounded by family members and I was thinking about that this weekend. You're surrounded by people and they all exist because we make choices and the choices bring new people into reality and it's like how does that happen? So we're really everything about this world is kind of crazy and miraculous if you think about it. Even on just you don't have to believe in God or anything. Just the fact that we human beings can have such an enormous effect on our destiny, and like you said, an effect you had on your son's life, and that's very nice. Has he ever commented to you about it since then? About that day? I'm just curious.
I think we might have talked about it once, maybe in a car ride out in the desert because he moved to Phoenix and we were going somewhere. But the real miraculous part of sometimes some people's parenthood is so she gets pregnant, da 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 da. You feel the baby moving in the womb, and then all of a sudden, holy crap, you're a dad, and there's this baby in front of you, and you're holding it in your arms, and your whole perspective of life just changes.
Well,
You're responsible for somebody's life.
yeah. I mean, it's
Anyway,
it's it's a
I
huge,
was just going to say. Anyway, it's very sweet.
and your story is very
I,
sweet.
I, I well, two words. One you used, and the one I just used: sweet and grace. And being a gracious person is sweet. So anyway, I don't
Wow.
want to hold up your show, but love you, guy.
Love you too, Mark. You've been a good friend to me all these years. And as I get each year I get older, I know we've talked about this before. Our friendships become more and more valuable, don't they?
Uh, I want a do-over. I don't think I realized. They always say this is the only life you get. I don't think I realized that until I was 65. So
Well, you know what, Mark?
I'm a slow learner.
Yeah, but you know what, Mark? Wherever we start in life, uh, whenever we start, everybody has things they could regret or second guess in their lives. I think that's part of being alive on Earth. But you know what? But at the moment we realize it, we have a new beginning. Admittedly, we may not be the same way we were when we were 30 years old. That's a different story. But still, um, oops. Oh, you know what? I just realized that we've got to go to a break. Hold on just a second, Mark. We can talk over the break and then. But my friends,
Okay.
this is Robert Seidel. This is the Gateway Show. We're going to go to a break. I've been talking to my friend Mark about his experiences as a dad on this Father's Day. And stay with us, and we'll be back in just a moment after the radio. This is Robert Seidel. So, so Mark, I think your sentiments, and people can still hear you, by the way, on Facebook. Your sentiments about. I bet you some of those same people. There's people in multiple states listening. One of my friends, Tim, and down in Texas, is listening, and it's you know, all we can do is start where we start, and because we don't get, I've often thought about this. People come into my office and they've been in an accident, and sometimes people will say, "Gosh, I wish I was never in this accident." I said, "Well, yeah, I'm sure that's true, but so far, I've never figured out any way to go back even 30 seconds, let alone let alone 20 minutes
Well,
or
that's
whatever."
that. You know, throughout the years with you, that's one of the messages you have conveyed. There's always a new tomorrow, and so you just start from where you are. I mean, obviously, we have no choice. So, but psychologically, that's a bit of a trick to get your mind into that mindset that tomorrow's a new day. It's I've been stuck in the past and it's been a real impediment to my moving forward.
just remember that that impediment. I'm sure some people listening, even on Facebook, will share with you those feelings. Is it 100% normal, Mark? 100% normal. I'd say it's the human condition, really, and I don't think it's rare. I think it's the norm. And but I will say when I come back for the on the radio, I actually want to talk about it a little bit. I think the only way to really get a new beginning is to practice forgiveness of self and others. I don't know any other way out of it. It's the only way to kind of get a new beginning. It's one of the more miraculous things in life. I've often thought, however it kind of came into being, forgiveness is probably the most powerful, magical secret in the world, and that includes self forgiveness. Otherwise,
Well,
how come?
maybe I'm still working on that, especially self forgiveness sometimes. Except my son helped me through that. And then I like to think about the song from Annie,
Tomorrow.
"Tomorrow, Tomorrow." It's a brand new day. So,
It's true. I mean, it's absolutely it's true. Um, and I'll be back in there. I want to say one thing while you're still on that we all have got to remember. Um, well, I can bring it up right now. But there was a well-known actor that I've seen on a number of shows, and I sort of felt kind of close to him. Actually, hold on. We're coming back in just a second, and I'll mention this because it just reveals the basic problem, or not problem, but reality we're all facing. And so okay, here we go. Back in the radio. Here we go. Good evening, my friends. It's Robert Seidel. It's a great pleasure to be with you here on this Sunday night on Father's Day. And this I like to go with the flow in my life. And as a matter of fact, my flight didn't even get into like 4:30, so here we are on the radio. Just luckily it all came together. But my friend Mark, who I've known since elementary school, on his own just said, "Hey," he told me he wanted to share a story he thought would be uplifting, and he shared the story before we went to the break about how he his son, when he first met this young woman, uh, I guess a conflict arose when he spent the night at her house, or her apartment or something, and so he called his dad, my friend Mark here, and said, "Can you talk to her?" And the very fact he trusted you that much, and somehow it all worked out, and they're married today, and they have, did you say one or two kids?
7 and 5. Oh,
Wow.
not 7 kids. A 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
No, I understood that what you meant. Um, you know, so you played a very, very important role in his life at that moment. And I think a lot of times we don't really know exactly how important the role we are playing is, and something might seem very insignificant to us, but then suddenly it makes a big difference. And so I think that's wonderful and magic for you. But I was going to say, I started to say something during the break, and I'm going to just mention it real quickly, just as a reminder of why we do have to forgive and start over again all the time. There's an actor that I've actually seen, really on some kind of Hallmark movies. I mean, just kind of fun, happy movies. Did you guys see it in the newspaper? His name was Treat Williams. I think his last name was Williams. Um, and anyway, I just happened, and they showed his face, and I thought, wait a minute, I know who that guy is. Anyway, he lived back in Vermont. If you type in his name on Facebook, not Facebook, on Google, you'll recognize his face right away, probably. Well, he's exactly, you heard my age, Mark, and he was riding a motorcycle uh, about 3 days ago, maybe 4 days ago, and somebody turned right in front of him. It's during the day even, but they didn't see him. Turned right in front of him. He hit that car. He flew over the car. He actually lived for a little bit, but he ended up dying within a couple hours. And so suddenly, he's this very successful person. You could tell he's got a very successful acting career, and it's just hearing different people's comments about him. People always try to be nice about people in the past, but I have this feeling he was a nice person, and suddenly, in a moment, his story is over. So I think the moral to me was is that for all of us is that, hey, Mark, the only way out of it for any of us, the only way not to get stuck, we got to forgive ourselves and others, and keep moving forward. If we're here, we're here, and the game's still open. It's still game on, right? Isn't that how it works? I don't know if that's right terminology or not. But if we're here, Mark, I'm sure there's a woman out there, if you're interested, Mark, that would like to be with you, that would enjoy a relationship with you. And I mean,
Oh,
that's of course,
we're still on Facebook. I'm accepting referrals. Yeah,
that's
but
right. You never know. You never know who might end up reaching out to you, Mark. You never can tell, my friends. Yeah, if you're interested in a romantic guy like Mark, just call me up, and I can give you his number. But you know, yeah, but people definitely have enjoyed what you're sharing, Mark. And but just seeing that guy, that he was here one moment, gone the next, and so the way out of all this stuff, it was. I mean, this is overly simplistic, but I'm still going to say it. Is forgiveness of self and others. I don't know any other way. I actually think it may be the most miraculous invention in all existence is forgiveness of self and others. And there's a fun little healing prayer I
well,
might have
it's
shared. Well, go ahead.
it's 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 also the most practical path to take. What I forget the rule in math or physics, whatever, the least resistance. But it's our mental resistance that holds us back from doing something that's sometimes very good for us. And I have to remember that. So, and
Well,
and you have helped me remember that. So thank you.
well, there's something called the Hawaiian healing prayer, and I've shared it on here actually quite a few times before, but I'm going to share it with you again. I use it every single day in my life. It's just a habit for me now. It's the Hawaiian healing prayer is this: to whoever comes into your mind, uh, whoever you feel like maybe there's some, what's the word for it? Some energy there that's not cleared, that's not happy, that you maybe feel bad about, or you whatever, however it got that way. You just say, I'm whatever the name is. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. It's just a very simple little thing. Any of you could type it in there. It's called the Hawaiian Healing Prayer, and it's so simple. And I use it all the time. And I've had two brothers that passed away, and my parents are both gone. And by the way, here's the strange thing about our human consciousness. I with my let's say with my parents, I know I had a very good relationship with my parents, but still sometimes something will crop into my mind and maybe I have a little bit of regret or upset about it. And I know my parents well enough that they wouldn't care. I actually know that, but um, I still say I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you, and somehow it clears my consciousness. And so you might experiment with that, Mark. It's an easier way to get some healing forgiveness going on in your life, whoever the person is, or even yourself. Sometimes I say it to myself, my unconscious mind, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Usually the person we're hardest on, Mark, is ourself. And I think, because just like you probably have some expectations or thoughts that you should be somehow different than the way you are. Like everybody's like that. But if you could say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you, then you know what? To yourself. So you can say something like this, Mark. Mark, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And be kind to yourself, just like you were kind to your daughter-in-law, your future daughter-in-law. And so, if we can learn to be kind to ourselves, guess what? That's our pathway to freedom. And I talked about tonight about healing and health, but that's the secret. We got to get off our own back, right? Does that make any sense, Mark? We got to get off our own back. We got to quit attacking ourselves.
Well, it makes total sense to me. It took a lifelong learning to get that place, but I've got a picture of my mom and dad in my bathroom, and I walk by it and I say, "Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad," and it just gives me warm, fuzzy feelings. Call me crazy. Oh, and by the way, Robert, I went to a car show at a place called Boys Republic out in Chino. Oh, where Steve McQueen went to like a reform school.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And on the baseball field, there was a Cessna 195, like your dad had.
And it's
Tail
funny.
dragger.
Yeah, yes, my dad was an adventuresome person. He really, really was, and I never really thought about it a whole lot when I was growing up. But we had this plane, and he liked to fly around in it and take us places, and we had some close calls too. And thank God I'm still here and alive, and that when nothing bad happened. But yeah, he was quite a daring person, and yeah. So you know what? We've all been very fortunate. Those of you that are listening, we're all fortunate, and we're all still alive. The slate is still blank in front of us, today's slate. So some of you, this includes you, Mark, There could be a person waiting.
I want an eraser. I want an eraser, one of those old felt erasers, and yeah.
I get it.
But again, there's no going back.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people could say that, but it's still a matter of where we go. Oh, somebody's one of our people put on Facebook, tabula rasa. Thanks,
That's
Leroy.
right. That's
But
right.
but the neat thing, no, you're right. I don't think we get that. But the closest thing is to forgive yourself and your life, and remember, whether you realize it or not, you're doing the best you know how to do, and that's true for all of us. Believe me, I can look at certain things in my life and say, "Wow, I screwed that up," and and I have. There's some things I've screwed up, but like I say, I was quoting Muhammad Ali earlier, and I just happened to love it. Well, it was you or somebody else that mentioned what he said, but anyway, yeah. The bottom line is that all these people screw up. Everybody screws up. I mean, Muhammad Ali had all sorts of failures and setbacks, but you know what? He just kept getting back up again, and he even ended up. I mean, unfortunately, I think he probably got hit in the head a little too much as a fighter. Ended up, as you know, getting Parkinson's or whatever condition he had, and that really changed his life. But somehow, even there, I think he stayed a pretty positive person to the end of his life. That's what I've heard anyway. So. Uh, if he can do it, Mark, you can do it too, and me too. If he can do it. So by the way, for all of you listening right now, let's make a joint pact here that we're all going to accept that whatever's happened in our life up till now has brought us to where we need to be right now, and that out of this moment, a beautiful future can be born for each and every one of us. And that's what my invitation is to one of you.
Pinky square, pinky swear.
A pinky swear, yeah, a pinky swear.
As they say in the romantic movies I love to watch.
Exactly. This is fun. I always talk about going on the flow. Oh, I got to go to the break in a second. But I always talk about going to the flow, and the fact you called, then you've been part of this, and I'm sure you're impacting a lot of people too, Mark. My friends.
Well, I don't want to occupy your whole show, but I hope everybody's enjoyed two guys having an intimate, friendly conversation.
You can stay on a couple more minutes, and then I have Ernie, who you know, and Janet that'll both be coming on too in a couple of minutes. You can say hi to them if you want to. My friends will be back in just a moment. Stay with me, Mark, a little bit longer. And my other and then everybody else stay with me because we'll have Reverend Janet, and Reverend Ernie with us too in about 2 to 3 minutes. So stay with us. This is Robert Seidel. Okay, we're going.
Ernie, you there?
I wonder if he probably will come on in just a second.
No, it's okay. You're at commercial or what?
Right, we're at a commercial. So normally he comes in.
Okay.
Right about now. We'll soon see. Hopefully it'll all work.
You're in your house. You're in your house, right?
Correct. Right. Hold on a second. I'm watching to see something here. Oh, okay, Janet. So Janet, are you going to hook on to? Let's see. I want to make sure that it can work with you and with them. Hold on. I'll be back 1 second, Mark. Hold on a second. My friends that are listening on Facebook, stay tuned. This will be fun. We're going to take the remaining time we have together tonight, create some powerful prayers and positive thoughts, and launch everybody a new future. Oh yeah, here we go. It's working. I don't even have to check anything. Hey Janet, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I'm good.
And you
Trying to get lined up. Hold on.
Yeah, you're all lined up. You look good. Oops.
Hold on. Yeah, Ernie's not on yet, huh?
No, he's not. But Mark's still here. Can you hear Mark? Oh, here comes Ernie.
Well, I'd have to say something. Janet, did I meet you at Robert's birthday?
No, I did not make it, unfortunately. I had just come back out of town. Yeah, I was really sad I missed that party. You mean the big party?
Oh, I think that's probably what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know what they call a big party. It was pretty big to me.
Hold on a second. Hold on just a second, Janet. Before we go more on that. Ernie's on the phone. Are you there, Ernie?
I'm here, Robert.
And my friend Mark's on the line. I'm pretty sure you met him at one point. Also, Mark, he came over from Southern California.
We did. We sat at a table with one of your other relatives or something. So yeah.
So
hi, Ernie.
Hello, hi, Mark.
That was either Robert's birthday or the wedding. I can't remember.
In any event, both. This is fun. So this is good. We've got 4 of us on. We're just about to come back after after the commercial break. I go, we'll be back on 60 seconds. Well, you know what? And then Janet, you were just back in New Jersey, right? About a week ago.
Yeah, a little over a week ago.
So I guess it's that time of year people like to travel, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I usually don't go too many places, but I did, and it was wonderful. So,
You look good, Janet. You look young tonight. That's good.
oh,
And
well,
Ernie
I
and
just
Ernie
come home from
Ernie
work.
looks young too. You know, Ernie, both of you guys, you both look very healthy and young. Mark, I don't, oh, you probably can't see them, can you, Mark? But
No,
'cause you're,
and I'm naked.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Okay, we're about
Probably scary. Probably scary.
we're just about to come back on the radio here. Hold on just a second. You
Oh, okay. Thanks for the warning.
you got Janet. She's gonna pass out here.
No, I
Janet,
just
where do you live?
Okay, hold on.
I
I gotta go
wasn't
back.
expecting
where does-
that.
Hold on. I gotta go back on the radio. now.
Where does
No,
Janet live?
So, Mark, hold on a second. We'll come back to that in a second.
Okay.
My friends, this is Robert Seidel. I welcome you back to the Gateway Show. It's fun to be with you all here on this Father's Day weekend. I now have my friend Mark. I've known since elementary school, and he was sharing a wonderful story in his life and a few little things, and then also his desire to kind of begin again, which we all have that desire lots of times. And then Ernie, Reverend Ernie, is with us, and he's been. And Reverend Ernie is very youthful too. I always forget you're 77, right, Ernie?
Yes, I'm 77.
Yeah. So you're doing great. You look great. And then Janet, you look great. So this is good. Maybe what we're doing is working somehow. So
What's that?
Ernie's 0077.
you're 007. That's right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you two are hearing, but anyway, it was kind of fun. Mark's sharing some thoughts, okay. I want to before we go any further, then you can just stay with us for right now if you want, Mark. Maybe we'll have a chance to visit a little bit more before the end of the show. But I'm going to let Ernie share a prayer with us, and then let Janet share a few thoughts with us.
All right. Thank you, Robert. The topic of the prayer is discover the power of healing of your mind, spirit, and body. Dear Lord, we thank you for giving us this blessed and miraculous day. We pray for discovering the power of healing of our mind, spirit, and body in everyday living in our communities and for people in other parts of the world. Strengthen our awareness through prayers, meditations, and acceptance of the divinity in each and every one. Lord, we pray to open ourselves to understand others and without judgment and expectations, share healing testimonies unconditionally. With your grace, which is available to all mankind, we pray everyone accepts and acknowledges the power of healing of our minds, spirit, and body in each one of us and create heaven on earth. And so it is. Amen.
I love all your prayers.
Amen. Lovely. Lovely. I guess, I was raised Catholic, so they talk about the Holy Trinity. And Ernie, thank you. So the Holy Trinity for me just became mind, body, and spirit. Thank you.
There you go.
Welcome.
All right, Reverend Janet, what do you have to share with us tonight?
So I'm going to read from the Daily Word, and it's not really for today's topic, but it's okay. I found something that fits in. I am healing. My body is a wondrous creation endowed with divine intelligence. Even in the midst of a health challenge, I can affirm healing, knowing my body is an ongoing process of renewal. In prayer, I connect with the divine life that flows through me, renewing my body cell by cell. I know every part of my body responds to my healing thoughts and affirmations, doing the work it was created to do. One by one, the cells of my body rejuvenate and rebuild the tissues, organs, and systems, restoring me to my natural state of being. Affirming my healing deepens my faith in the power of my words and reminds me I am an expression of God. I give thanks that I am whole in mind, body, and soul. And from Psalm, I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Amen to that.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Um, you know what? I'm just thinking to myself. By the way, Mark, somebody put that they love that pinky swear. This lady wrote this. She
Yeah,
liked
well,
that.
that's fun. But from Janet's words, I think I need to go for a walk in the park and start getting more exercise and respecting my body a lot better. So thank you, Janet.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, you know
You're
what?
welcome.
That's you know what? It's funny you mentioned that, Mark. I was thinking to myself today about what I need to do in my diet and exercise, and it's always an ongoing journey, isn't it? And we all I think get distracted a little bit at different times. Although Janet, you always look the same, so and really you do too, Ernie. But I think about it. But nonetheless, it's easy to get off track in our diet or exercise in our lives, and I think then when the second we notice that, we just got to get back on track. But so. My friends, let's see. We have a couple.
Robert, I think I said to you one time, we only get one container, so respect the container.
Yeah,
That's our body.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. And yet we also, you know, it doesn't mean we always do exactly what we think we should do food wise or any otherwise, because that's just humanity, right? I mean, that's nobody. There wouldn't be such a huge market for weight loss things if it wasn't for the fact that people have some struggles with their own ability to manage what they're eating and things like that. But all my friends, whatever is going on, we have just about a minute left. I love Mark's just bringing it up. You know, it's not too late for us. I just want to say that message tonight. Whatever dream God has put in your soul or life has put in your soul, it's not too late. It's not too late for you, Mark, to whatever you is out there, relationships, whatever's supposed to be. It's not too late for you. Not too late for any of us. Not too late for anybody listening. James, Janet, Leroy, my friend Denise, all these different people. Lots and lots of Tim, my friend Tim. It's not too late for any of us, and that's the key. But I'll leave this thought with you. We've got to forgive ourselves. Practice that Hawaiian healing prayer. I'm sorry, whoever it is, including your own self. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Just look it up. Google it. Hawaiian healing prayer. It's just a great little tool to use about yourself and everybody else. So, my friends, we're just about out of time right now. I just want you to know it's been a lot of fun joining together, and I unexpectedly got a chance to include my friend Mark in the show tonight, and he contributed to all of us, including me, every bit, maybe. And Mark, I just want to thank you for sharing your journey with your son and his wife. And
well, along with the Hawaiian prayer, I'll send everybody aloha.
All right, that sounds great. That sounds great. So, my friends, God bless you. Aloha. The music's going. The show's over. God bless you all. Remember, God is real, miracles real, the best is yet to come. Let's keep believing. Let's forgive and believe. We're moving forward. New beginning. See you all later. Till next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Janet. Bye, Ernie.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mark.
Bye,
Bye,
Mark.
Robert. And bye,